I just gotta start off this review by saying episode 3 of Boku no Hero Academia, it was pretty freaking amazing. But at the same time, at least to me, the pacing, it seems really fast because we got a 10-month time skip and that right there happened in one episode. But I will say that right there at least took up, a good chunk of the episode in general though. But this episode, it picked off from last week where we had Midoriya who was like so overjoyed that he couldn't help but cry because the one who he admired for so freaking long actually told him that he can be a hero. And we see now that All Might, because in the preview he had mentioned how Midoriya could like inherit his power, and that right there was actually no lie or no joke. He was like dead serious about that. And so we learn more about All Might, about how he like put on this facade about being a natural born hero, because he was saying how when like people would ask him, how he like got the powers or exactly what are they, he would like always make a joke out of it, because in the tabloids and the media, they were calling his powers like superhuman strength and like a boost. But in reality, his real quirk is actually a power that can be transferred called one for all. And so what this power is, or what this quirk is, it pretty much whenever this power actually gets transferred to someone, or at least from what I can understand and what I'm assuming here is that when this power is actually passed on, whoever inherits it actually develops it in their own like kind of way. So I'm guessing that Midoriya definitely won't have that, that super strength or that boost, but I do wonder what his power will be like. And I also would have wished that like they could have like talked about some of the previous ones who had that power, before All Might, because I would love to see, some examples besides him. But I'm definitely interested to see how Midoriya, will get this. But right now, obviously, he was definitely like nowhere near being a suitable vessel. So All Might had to train him, and we see now that the training, like I said, was going on for 10 months. And so during these 10 months, it was definitely, like a hellish training. And so we see now All Might, he actually had Midoriya going to this beach that was like covered in trash, because this right here, what was trash that was like gathering from different places, and somehow it was all being collected on like this shore. And so right now Midoriya had to like clean this, because that right there will like train his body so that way he can handle this quirk. And so at first he was like definitely struggling, but at the same time All Might definitely wasn't making it easy for him, because at first we see him trying to like pull this fridge that was like definitely heavy, and then you have someone like All Might in this like hero form, all like buffed up. That right there like made it even heavier. But at the same time, like All Might, like I don't know why I didn't make this comparison before, but All Might, like he reminds me of Captain America and like Superman. Now hear me out here, because when I say he reminds me of Superman, that's like he's like the poster boy for all heroes, just like how Superman is. But at the same time, he kind of have like that super soldier like weakling kind of appearance going on that the Captain America had, before he had went through that experiment. So that's why All Might it's reminding me of like these two heroes. And so we see now how he made this plan, or this layout that Midoriya will like have to follow, so that way he'll be ready for the entrance exam for the UA, because that right there was like in 10 months. And so we see now that All Might, he actually like made it perfect, and we could see like Midoriya like actually following on it, but at the same time he was like kind of going overboard at some points. But also Midoriya, he actually has this habit where he like talks to himself, And I definitely like the effect they were using, like when he had the like muttering sound like going on, and you can see him obviously attracting attention. And we see now at one point, like while he was in class, he was like thinking about the workout or layout that All Might had like set for him, and that right there was attracting a lot of attention. And we see now that like that even their teacher had like this quirk where his body can like be kind of used or like be like detached with like strings. It definitely had reminded me of what's the name, Kakazu from Naruto. And so we see now that he actually hit Midoriya on his head, to get his attention and bring him back to like reality. And so right now everybody was like making fun of him, but laughing at him. And then we have one girl saying a nervous breakdown already, but only if they all knew what he was doing, because right now Midoriya is definitely making like some pretty big plays. But Kazuki, like to me, his character seemed to be changing some, because at the end of the episode, kind of like we do learn that ever since that day, Midoriya did try to help him. He had stopped bullying him, and we even see now how like everybody was like laughing at him. He was like kind of ignoring it or not really paying it, no attention. But at the same time, this guy looks pissed 24/7. But at the same time, I definitely don't like him, because to me, he's definitely like kind of an edgelord and a bit too dickish for my liking. But regardless, now Midoriya, he was still following like this regimen that All Might was like giving him. But at the same time, he was also like overworking himself. And we even see now how he like changed his eating habits. He somehow got his mother to agree to like make whatever All Might had wanted him to eat and all that. And so we see now that like that 3 months in, or no, whatever, like 3 months left actually, All Might and Midoriya, they were like running and like doing more training. And we see now that Midoriya actually collapsed, and that's when All Might have realized that he's been overworking himself. And that right there was alarming, because when you do that, like that right there was like definitely like kind of like sabotaging himself, because All Might was saying how that right there can have the opposite effect, because what he should have been doing was like just following what All Might was saying like to the T. But Midoriya was like always saying how he has to work harder than anybody else, and always push himself, because right now he is quirkless, where all the other people already have their quirk. And so that's why he was like doing all this, and All Might definitely knew where he was like coming from. And we see now that the day that the exam was like taking place, and we have All Might going back to the beach, and we see now that the shore, it was like actually all cleaned off. And all you see is Midoriya, like it's just standing on like this truck, like just yelling at the top of his lungs, because he actually did it. And that right there was a very proud moment. And we see now that he was so exhausted, he actually fell off, but All Might, using his speed, actually caught him. And so now we see, All Might, he was just so proud because he actually did it, that it was finally time to reward him. And so we see All Might taking a piece of his hair, and he actually told Midoriya to eat it. And just how like Midoriya was saying how this right here was like not what he expected. At the same time, I definitely was expecting that, but I was like laughing my ass off when he said he like had to eat his hair to actually get his power. And so now, that even though we don't see Midoriya, eat it, because he was definitely, like not for that at first. He had no choice but to do it. But sadly, he could not test out that power, because of course he had to actually go to where the exam was like taking place. And so now when he had went to the UA, we see all these students like walking there, and we see now how Midoriya was like thinking to himself. And then we have Katsuki, who are like yelling at him because he was like walking in front of him. And so now we see that, that even though Kazuki has stopped bullying Midoriya, he is still like scared of him out of habit, which is why he was like cowering like that. But now he has changed. This right here is a new Midoriya. And just when like he was like going to actually, like walk through the school, we see him now tripping and falling. But some girl who seemed to have the power of like telekinesis, she actually stopped him and was like talking to Midoriya. But this this guy was just like so nervous because this right here was like his first time, like talking to a girl. He actually fooled himself in his mind to believe that like he was talking to her, but he really didn't, say anything really. But now we see that while the exam was like going on, or it was like being explained to them, we see now how this one hero named President Mike, and to me that right there is a very strange name. But regardless, he was explaining to them how this exam will work, where we have these heroes going to like these certain areas. And they'll have no choice but to encounter like these three machines. But then one boy who actually was like one boy who was a participant, he was saying how there was a fourth monster listed, but the hero, did not mention it. But apparently this monster is worth 0 points because this right here is an obstacle. So even though it's not impossible for them to defeat it, they have no reason to, because that right there, give them no points. So why would they bother with it? So that right there definitely makes a lot of sense. And also this boy who was like talking to the hero, he also called out Midoriya, and that right there I didn't like. But at the same time, I know that I have seen him in the opening, so that this guy is definitely someone that we should keep our eye on, just like that girl who helped Midoriya, back when he fell. And so now, besides, Midoriya and Kazuki, we are starting to see more of these, heroes that will like make up our main cast. But at the same time, I was definitely, like kind of mad because the episode ended where we have all these heroes, gathering, and we see now how Midoriya and the boy with the glasses, they're in the same group. And I don't know if that girl was in there as well, but the fact that they showed her, I do believe that she's with them. And from the previews, I want to assume that the boy power is like kind of like Speed, and even see some Granny in there as well. So that right there will be interesting. But at the same time, I'm just dying to see the power that Midoriya actually got from All Might, because that right there, like, they trained that hard, and we see how much he developed, because when he first started training, All Might took a picture of him, 10 months ago, and seeing how far he came, since then, because he is now jacked. This boy is now fit. He is no longer a wimp. So I'm pretty sure, the power is whatever he will be, whatever he can actually develop to be, that right there should be surely amazing. But this episode overall, besides that ending, because at the same time I did really want to see his power, it was definitely a good episode. And learning more about All Might, is always, like something important. So that right there was like nice to know as well. But I do wonder that now that Midoriya, like has the power or has that quirk, is All Might giving up on being a hero? Because at the same time, I find that very hard to believe how the top hero can like just step down like that, even though he is looking for a successor. But as always, let me know what you guys thought. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because it really helps me out. And as always, you guys take it easy, and I will see you all next time.